under borders are, Harris, millions of migrants are pouring across our border. They are coming not just from South America. They're coming from Africa, Asia, the Middle East. They're coming from everywhere.
Hordes of illegal immigrants coming from Asia and Africa and South America, infiltrating our borders from everywhere. We cannot stop them. We're being invaded by immigrants, according to Trump. So that's cool.
Mental institutions, insane asylums, and terrorists at levels that we've never seen before. We have
the level of terrorism has never been higher. Threat level midnight. It's threat level midnight in America. You should be scared. I should be scared. We should all be scared for these illegal immigrants pouring in through the border from wherever.
Coming in at levels that we've never seen come in before. You know, the Border Patrol did a statement on terrorism and terrorists. They said in 2019, one of my 4 years, now I think they were wrong on this, but I'm going to tell you anyway, I love it. They said zero. They had zero. Is that right? I think, Paul, they had zero terrorists.
Yeah, I think not. I think you might be lying, and it's hard for you to keep up with it.
Coming in the year 2019, now I think they were wrong because I don't know how they could be. But they had zero.
There's no way I could be that perfect. There's no way that I could be so good that none would enter.
Thousands and thousands of the hardest, meanest terrorists coming in, and it's not going to end well.
The hardest and the meanest.
Go right to work, and you know who knows who they are? The local police. Our local police, they know their middle name. They know everything about them. Meanwhile, our crime rate is going up while the crime statistics all over the world are plunging, because all over the world, unless they're run by very stupid people, they're taking their criminals and they're dumping them. We're like a dumping ground. They're dumping them into the United States.
They're all coming here. That's right. All the criminals.
Crime is way down. The criminals are almost gone.
The level of fear-mongering from this motherfucker is just unparalleled. I don't know of any other president that does this just absolute xenophobic ranting that Donald Duck comes up with. I mean, it's just absurd.
The only difference, if I were running Venezuela, I would have had
And then we go with the vuvuzela. You gotta talk about vuvuzela. I wonder if he's gonna mention that in 2021 we tried to coup and failed at coupping the Venezuelan government.
The jail's 100% empty by now.
Yep, they all came here, Trump. All the Vuvuzelans came here. They've infiltrated our institutions. They're taking our money. It's a big joke, and we're the butt of the joke, according to Trump.
I believe they're just going a little slower than we thought. Many countries right now, there's a certain country, I don't want to mention it because the head of the country, the president, South American country, but again, they're all over the world.
I tell you, I don't want to mention it, but let's give you a clue. Somewhere in South America.
He's getting great publicity that he's done a wonderful job of crime. He's done a wonderful, wonderful job.
I think he's talking about Lula, but let's see.
He's convinced everybody to live together, and I believed it. Like for 2 years I'm reading about it. I go, oh, great story in the New York Times. Great, wonderful. Then I realized he's taking his criminals, he's dumping them into our country. But he's doing it differently than some of the others.
Deport illegals now. Remember, that's one very strong, important platform of the Republican Party. Mass deportation right now. Deport them all. I don't like them. El Salvador? I don't know. I could be wrong. We need that juicy Vuvuzelan oil, yeah.
Our communities are being ravaged by migrant crime earlier this
He's so horny for immigrants, just vilifying foreigners. It sort of speaks to that like implicit white supremacy, right? That what is Make America Great Again? What is the vision here? It's white supremacy. They're coming for us. You know, these illegal immigrants, they're coming for us. Not too much there's always one token black guy though. Oh wait, actually I see three. Wow. The ultimate scapegoat for America's problems. Always. Our victims are also our oppressors, is basically what the message is. Our victims are our oppressors simultaneously. Yeah, I wonder why Mexico and the rest of Latin America is poor and ruled by banana republics. Yeah, it's almost as if it was engineered to be that way, wouldn't you think? I love when people say, oh, you like socialism, huh? Why don't you go try living in insert victim of U.S. imperialism and totally devastated by our country's politics? policies, and then tell me how you like it. Just go to, they say Venezuela a lot. What else do they say? Cuba, China. I would love to go to China. I'd love to go to Cuba.
This year, a 15-year-old girl in Massachusetts.
Here we go, another anecdote, another xenophobic anecdote. Must be a Mexican rapist, probably, or grapist. Can I say that word on stream? I don't know.
Was raped by a migrant who Biden and Harris flew into the United States.
Of course. They're bringing their terrorists, they're bringing their drug dealers, and they're bringing their grapists. These motherfuckers coming up from Mexico, I swear to God. They're raping our beautiful white women.
We're stopping them at the border. We're fighting. The Border Patrol guys are stopping them like crazy. Great danger. And then we find out they have airplane flights over the border with thousands and thousands of people landing into the middle of our country. They're
Airplanes. I don't think I've ever rid on an airplane.
flying them then in airplanes
Airplanes.
into our country. So they don't want to stop them. They never will stop them.
So we're literally being infiltrated by, Mexican sorties. They're doing flyovers, basically, dropping in. It's sort of like, I love that it's couched in this language of war, right? They're invading our country. They're coming in from underground, just like Hamas. They're coming over the border. Thank God for our ICE agents. And they're also coming in from the sky. They're dropping in. They're dropping in from the sky. It's literally an immigrant invasion, according to Trump. They're coming in. They're ravaging our communities. Our communities. Who is ravaging our communities? Is it the poorest, most vulnerable social groups in society? Couldn't be the most powerful people, of which Donald Trump is a member of its class. They're infiltrating our schools and our universities. First class flight into the United States, and from then on they're graping our beautiful young girls, and they're just taking our gerbs.
Nobody understands what good can come of it. Nobody understands why they want to have
I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna projectile vomit. I hate this man so much.
It's nothing good. The only thing they can do is they are trying to register people to vote. That's the only thing we...
Is this real? This is live. Where's his ear? How's his ears looking? Did anybody get a good shot at his ear? No pun intended.
Cheat on elections like they cheat on elections. These are not stupid people. But you say, why would they want to have open borders and have criminals and mental patients coming into our country?
Coming into our country. They're coming into our country. They're bringing the drug dealers.
The thing is, and I'm seeing it more and more, they're fighting like hell. They want to register these people to vote, and we have got to stop it. We can't let them do it. That's the only...
You know, this same rhetoric goes back to the founding of this goddamn country. The founding fathers were always worried about the threat of excessive democracy because they knew. And now think about it. He's trying to get you to fight the culture war. Trump is a culture warrior. So they can't, look, if the Republican Party told you how it was, if they told you exactly what they were going to do, you would not vote for them. If they actually said the truth, if they actually told you what their policies are, I mean, they're just completely, apart from all this cultural stuff, they are completely bought by big business, by corporations. And it's an institutional imperative for them to f you over, They can't possibly win on their platforms, and they know it. So what do? They have to stoke the flames of the culture war. They have to hoodwink you. They have to get you to hate people that are some of the most marginalized and poorest people and victimized people on planet Earth. They have to have you believe that they are the problem. Taking our gerbs. I mean, it's the meme, but it's the same shit. The reason that you're being put down right now has nothing to do with corporate tax laws. It doesn't have anything to do with private equity firms. It doesn't have anything to do with big business controlling our government. It has everything to do with the victims of big business controlling our government. They're double victims. They're victims by the United States, and they're being blamed again when it comes time for an election.
There's no other reason that they could want this. In upstate New York 2 months ago, another 15-year-old girl...
Now here we go, another anecdote, 15-year-old girl. What happened to the 15-year-old girl?
...was attacked by an illegal alien they let in, assaulted with a metal pipe, abducted, driven to an...
This is pure anecdote bullshit, It's like, where are the studies and the statistics that say that you know, illegal aliens are the main threat to, you know, and the main cause of crime in the United States. The main perpetrators of assault of any kind come from illegal aliens. Like, where is this based in any sense of logic or reason or facts or anything about our reality?
Isolated area, raped and killed. And in Texas last...
The trifecta, right? Attacked, raped, and killed. Can you believe that? Shouldn't your anger, shouldn't that incite you right there to hate brown poor people that we objectify or subjugate in other third world countries?
12-year-old Jocelyn Lungari was tied up, sexually assaulted, and strangled to death by 2 illegal aliens who Biden and Harris released into the United States.
Wow, they're just running rampant. It's killers on the loose. It's riders on the storm. This is apocalyptic, right? Gotta be. This is big if true.
Beautiful young girl. Kamala Harris's deadly destruction of America's borders is completely and totally disqualifying for her to be president. You can have a person like this as president. No person who deliberately releases these kinds of savage criminals to prey on our youth and our people, not just youth. Elderly people, too, are tremendous targets, should ever be trusted with power. Again, she has no clue. She has no clue. She's evil. The one job Kamala had was the border. That's the only job, and it was the biggest disaster in all of border history. And I'm not talking in this country. I'm talking all over the world. All over the world,
ever since there have been borders. He's just hyperbolic to an extreme. I mean, that is what hyperbole is, right? He's hyperbolically hyperbolic. He can just, I don't know, I guess we could just, yeah, he said it, those are words, so I guess it's true. How do you qualify as substantiate anything that he's saying? Well, it's all just rhetoric, and obviously you don't. You can't. The is he talking about? I mean, he's just trying to say some disparaging remarks about his political opponent, and I can understand why.
There's never been a border where people cross by the millions and millions. A third world country would stop it.
This is who we're dealing with, these people? Look at them all. They're all so lame. Just complete stooges. Every single one is just a mediocre mediocrity. Complete mediocrity right here. Like, what's going on in your personal life? I want to know, like, especially this guy. What's going on with him? What's wrong with this guy? We gotta get through to him. Why does he hate black people so much? Why does he hate brown people so much? What is going on? Why does he beat his wife? Did his dad never love him? That's no excuse. What are you so mad about, you know? Alpha male, this is like divorce court. He's just, man, Trump freedom, man. I tell you, we're gonna get him. We're gonna get him. He's not, that's my president. I mean, dime a dozen these people are. What's going on psychologically? Like, I really want to know. And her, she looked like she just got hit with a Mack truck. She's got a face like a drive-in movie theater. What's going on here? Look at this leathery creature. I don't know. What's going on in their lives? Are they okay? There's got to be psychologically something going on there. Don't get it twisted. Kamala hates black and brown folk too. Well, yeah, she's a f***ing cop, you know, and people are all butthurt because you have white people calling out the fact that just because Kamala's black, same thing with Obama, you know, it's like you always look at what their policies are. You look what their functional role is in society. Turns out you don't have to be white to uphold white supremacy. You can be any color. If you are a mouthpiece for state power, if you're a mouthpiece for the capitalist class, if you're a running dog for the capitalist ownership class, then good riddance, you know, it doesn't matter if you're black, white, Hispanic, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, doesn't matter how many fingers you got, all right? Whether you can see out your right eye, if you're bald, or if you have hair, it really doesn't matter. It's about your institutional role in society. Come on, grow up. Why are we playing these identity politics?
Even if their people had to use sticks and stones, they'll use sticks and stones. Nobody's going to allow that to happen, what's happened to our country. We're pleased to be
They own HVAC businesses. They do, don't they?
Border Patrol Council, a great guy, Paul Perez. And
this guy definitely has an HVAC.
Paul to come up to the stage for 1 minute. Paul, please.
Paul.
I worked under 3 Democrats, 2 Republicans. Everybody talked tough on the border. Only one president actually backed it up. That was Donald J. Trump.
Goddamn right.
Joe Biden doesn't care about the border. Borders are Harris.
Wait, I'm sorry, but like, am I crazy?
When they asked her if she was going to go to the border, and she laughed.
Did not Biden Biden closed the border? like June 4th, 2024. Biden signs executive action drastically tightening border. He has faced political pressure as migrants facing mounting political pressure over the migrant influx at the southern border. President Joe Biden on Tuesday signed an executive action that will temporarily shut down asylum requests. The border is not a political issue to be weaponized, as Biden weaponized the border as a political issue. The shutdown would go into effect immediately since that threshold has already been met. The border would reopen only once that number falls to 1,500. So temporary shutdown once the average number of daily encounters tops 2,500. Yeah, so I don't understand how are they still getting away with saying that, like, oh, Biden was too lax on the border. Like, he signed an executive action to effectively shut down the border. Did Trump do anything like that? Like on that scale? I mean, I really want to know. In what world do we live in where Trump is trying to distance himself from Biden on immigration when it is Biden who signed an executive action to shut down the border crossing? Yeah, he should have installed, a minefield. Right, exactly. He should have installed a minefield. What's ours is ours. You know what it is obviously we all here are enlightened to the fact that the United States pursues a vicious policy of imperialism across the entire globe and negotiates at the barrel of a gun, and obviously pursues all forms of economic violence, including physical militaristic violence, with untold amounts of acts of aggression throughout our history. I mean, and it's ramped up obviously in the post-World War II era as the United States became the only country to be a world superpower. All of this, and yet, in other words, what I'm trying to say is, all these people have had to flee, I mean, what happens when you are dispossessed of all your resources? What happens when you're being exploited, when your land is violently taken away from you? I mean, and we can go through the history for anyone here that doesn't know, but it's very rich in examples of the U.S. dispossessing basically what amounts to the global South countries. And, you can think of it broader as the global North exploiting the global South. I mean, that's largely true in our recent modern history. And it's especially true considering the United States and its foreign policy. So the fact that, these people are now fleeing to the United States, to the source, that's not surprising. These are the effects of imperialism. It's like, this is what happens when you dispossess millions and millions of people. What do you expect people to do? You think they want to flee their country and undergo these horrendous circumstances, these caravans that are trying to come up from, South America, Latin America, and finally get to the United States? The assumption is that, well, they want what we got, we're just better. We're better than them. And they did this to themselves, and they want us to bail them out. We're not going to have it. That's the xenophobic sort of narrative you got to tell yourself to keep it going, I guess. And people are very, very dumb to that. They don't want to take a look at our crimes, how we shape the world.
Laughed about it and said, well, I haven't been to Europe. There's nothing funny about border security.
Look at this. Look at him. Why is he standing like that? It's like he literally looks like a velociraptor. Why is he standing? His legs are like pushed back and his upper half is like forward. And then his hands are just dangling, and they're such small, supple hands. They're so soft. Look at them. Look at those soft, supple, small little hands. So cute. But that's just like a velociraptor, right? Why is he literally and figuratively a dinosaur?
Tell that to the families that have lost loved ones, to the victims of illegal alien crime. President Trump is the only one that has stood with them. I've seen it with my own eyes. He's done it. He's strong on the border.
Mine eyes have seen the coming of the glory of the Trump.
Borders are Harris, needs to go.
Yes. Very good.
Thank you, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Oh, yes.
Great people. There are people it's so much easier for them to just say, let's do nothing like they were told to do, but they can't do it. They love the country.
I know, his ear does seem like, I was wondering how the ear was.
People will tell you when
Seems
there's a
okay
shot
to me.
fired, and people know a shot. It's much different sound than firecrackers and everything else. Much different. They know, especially the people that we're talking about from that section, they know a shot better than anybody. And
What the fuck
the
is she
shot
doing
was
here?
Heard.
Isn't she late for like the Motley Crue reunion?
They saw bullets ago. Did you see look at him? Did you see it? Does everyone? I mean, you've seen this clip hundreds of times. People call up. They see it hundreds. But look at that guy. He's not afraid. And then he's pointing. There he is.
Wait, I thought this was such a traumatic thing. This was such a traumatic thing for you that you told us at the RNC that you would tell us what happened, but then you would never speak about it again because it was just too traumatic. But here you are recounting the same story? What's that about? His ego is so strong not to speak about it. I know. He talks about it. He's talked about it nonstop. Too painful, but also let me bask in my moment here a little bit longer. Yeah, nothing happened to Trump's ear. Isn't that funny? It's all, you know what happens though, for bionic men, alpha males like Trump, the ear actually grows back.
Nixon ordered Cambodian genocide. Clinton sent cruise missiles to Sudan, people died. Obama gave the orders to do drone strikes.